Okay, so as a lot of you know, I have been kind of what seems like all over the place lately, in terms of literal geographic location. Like, I feel like a little bit of a mess, but like all over the place, like literally, I've been quite a few places this year that I did not expect to go. As all of you know, because you're my favorite, you have been just with me through this whole journey. Um, I'm just so thankful, but I got back from England on February 28th or something like that, like right at the end of February. And like from that point, I really felt like I was supposed to go back in May. That is kind of where people are like, I lost you. Like, I didn't see you from May on, and it looked like you were just all over the place. And so that's kind of where I want to bring like some clarification, and kind of just zoom in on that. So before I went to England the first time, so September of 2016, I'm like losing track of time at this point. God had like been whispering to me about like, this is going to be longer than you expect. And when I said long-term missions, like I kind of meant longer than I think you were thinking. And I was like, but then also kind of just like talking to him about it and kind of like asking him what that looks like. And yeah, I just really felt like he was wanting me to be there a lot longer than I was wanting. Or not wanting, but I was expecting, I think, in that moment in time. Like I kind of didn't know what I was signing up for a little bit. But he was hinting at it, and he like let me in on it. And as soon as I got there, as soon as I got to England, I got that, because he knows my heart and he knows what that country needs. And not that like I'm fixing the country, like that sounds so silly, but just like he knew like that there was a place for me there, that there was a need for like my particular passions and gifts and abilities wherever he was sending me. Like he knows like the best fit for all of us and where we need to. So for me, it was that I love the local church, and the church that he sent me to was a church that had big vision. They want to do 10 campuses in 10 years. Then that's like going into London actually, which is like one of the major business hubs of the world, which is crazy. Like I study business, so I just feel like there's like a few things like that where I'm just like, okay, God, you know what you're doing. And so I went through the 6 months, and yeah, I think God just made it continually like more and more apparent like why I'm supposed to be there, and that I am actually supposed to be there long term. And so I came back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to go back in May. And I was talking to some people about doing it as a missionary, and I prayed for like a month or two about like, and like I'm praying this whole time, like the whole from February to May, like the whole time I'm praying. But like I spent like a lot of time in May, specifically, just like on my knees, like a lot, a lot. And I just felt like it was time, like I needed to go. And the funny thing is like I'm back and I don't have what I went there going for, and I just felt so like flustered and blundered. And kind of that's where we're back to that time. We've kind of resumed right now in this video. We're going back, explanation into now is in May. I was thinking, okay, God, I know you want me back in England. I had known that he was speaking to me about being a missionary, but I was being stubborn in all honesty. And like what I've come to realize is that like, yeah, I was being really stubborn, I think, because basically I went back in May because like partially, like I feel like he was like, he let me go, but I think it's because he knew like where my heart was, and that I needed like that time for him to like teach me and for him to like show me and to like, yeah, I think I was just playing catch up, and he was like having grace on me by letting me go and like figure myself out. Because basically when I went to England in May, I went to get a job. I went and I applied to like hundreds of jobs, people. Like I'm not even kidding you, like so many jobs. And the whole thought was, is if I'm going to be here long term, then I want to be here and I want to be able to support myself. I want to be able to support myself long term and like make a life. So that way, because I know God was whispering to me about missionary, but I was like, I don't want to like support race. Like I just feel like I have a degree, I have experience, like I can do this. Which even as I say that, I'm like, all right, yeah, you can do it all on your own. Cool. Like, where's God? But But I was like truly believing that God is the God of the impossible, and where like visas and finances were an issue, I was believing that like God would overcome it. God would get me a job. God would get me a visa. Like I was just believing for those things, and nothing like seemed to pan out. It got to be August, and I was like, all right, God, like you're the God of the impossible, and you're not doing this. Like I've put in so much work for this, and like nada. And so I think that was like, I was like trying to support myself, and God was like, nope. And I was like, what the heck? So then come to now, and I was like really frustrated. Like I kind of felt like a failure. Like I kind of felt like, all right, like God, I pursued this, I obeyed you, I like feel like I did what you asked, and like I feel like you kind of like left me in like a pit, and I'm a little annoyed, you know? And God did like a lot of miracles on that. God did so much where I just was like, I was having to see where he was being faithful, and I was having to look where like I could be grateful. After conversations with friends and mentors who they've watched me in this journey, and they've seen how much I've just like tooth and nail just gone through this with God, and like been in every moment where God has just like affirmed England, I like was having to be reminded of these, because I was like, this just seems impossible. This just seems like, what the heck are you wanting, God? Like, why? And so I was encouraged in the past month that like, even though I maybe didn't get a job in that time, and that it was in that time, I think the time is the key piece, is it just because it wasn't that time doesn't mean that it wasn't over. Like, it doesn't mean it's over. Like, I was being stubborn because I wanted to, in my strength and my qualifications, like get a job and be able to support myself, because I felt like that's what you gotta do. Like, I just got a degree. Like, that's what that's for, you know? But God was like, nope. Like, I have something else for you, and like, you need to like humble yourself. And yeah, so now and so this is the thing, is so with being a missionary, it's not that I didn't want to be a missionary. It's that the support raising piece, like I just feel like financially, I think that's like the struggle for me, is like I love what I'd be getting to do. Like I love that I would be getting to support the pastors when I go back. I love that they are going to be part of like a regional network of pastors that I get to work with. Like that is my heart. That is like my heartbeat. Like I love the local church. I love supporting pastors. Like that is like a big part of what I feel like I've been made to do, is just be an encouragement to pastors in the local church, and to just support and be like, well, you can see I'm like just getting excited about it. And then also I'd be getting to work with the young adults, which is like, God has put a major conviction on my heart that like while I am a young adult, to be reaching out and to like be a part of young adult community. And yeah, so such cool and exciting things I'd be getting to do, and like I get to be a part of, because Net is just like growing and growing and growing right now. And so Net Church, the church I'm a part of in England, in case that wasn't super clear. But it's the support raising piece. It's a financial support raising piece that I was being so stubborn, and like obviously it's still somewhat hard for me, but I think I just have to thank you guys, because the first time I went, like you guys are such an encouragement to me. Like within 2 or 3 weeks, I think like I was funded, and that's like all because you guys. And I think and obviously like the Lord, because he put it on all of your hearts and he made it happen. But just like I'm so grateful, and I'm a little freaked out, to be super honest. Like I don't want to sit here and be like, okay, it's all happy dandy now. Like I'm a little freaked out, but I just think if this is what God wants, then like I want to go after it. But I also just want I just wanted to make sure it was really clear for all of you guys who have been, I don't know, in every moment, like in England, like it can be easy to like feel really alone, because I'm used to having like you guys. Like I just feel so 100% supported at every moment. Just like I have my family, I have my friends, I have my church family. Like I have so much support, like 24/7. And not that I don't have that in England, but I have years of history just with you guys, and I could feel like your prayers, and I can feel your love at all times, even in the hardest of moments where I'm like, oh, I just miss my family and my friends, and like I want to cry. But you guys, like, you made it possible, and so I felt like I don't know if it's like owed it to you, but I really wanted to make sure that you guys knew that in the past year, like I know that you I know that you supported me financially and through prayers for that 6 months, but I also want you to know that it went longer than that. Like your support and your prayers, like I really feel like we're like a kickstart for like a long thing of what God's wanting to do. And like I felt your prayers, I felt your support in February to May when I was back in the States and like a mess trying to figure out what the heck God is trying to do. And I felt your prayers and support when I was like so scared in England this summer. Like I did my best to like be working my butt off during the week and serving in the church when I could, and like I just felt like I couldn't have done it without you guys. And I think it's really hard to show what I was doing, because I think with long-term mission, it's very relational. It's very much like I'm building long-term relationships. It's not like I'm going and building a house that I can show you, here's this house I was building, but like there's so much I got to do. And so I think I'm going to do a separate video for you guys and just kind of share some of my experiences. It's really hard to share it over social media just because it's long-term, in the sense that like these people are probably going to see what I'm saying, and so I can't really like share personal details about people's lives, but I think I can do a better job of sharing like just the things I'm getting to do. And I apologize that I haven't been the best at that, but I do want to I want to share it with you guys. So there's that. Also, I just wanted to specify and clarify something. I think I've gotten a lot of feedback that it looks like I've been vacationing, and I think that's really hard for me because I've been in like a really hard spot. And so there's been moments where I've been gifted trips, and they were such a blessing to me because I was in such a hard spot. But I just want it to be really clear. And I know that I maybe don't have to say this, but I just feel like you guys, I just really appreciate you guys, and I feel like I wouldn't want this to be unclear to you. So I'm just going to share that like every trip that I've gone on this year, so I'm just going to go through them. They've all been gifted. So I got to go on the Rohard family holiday to Disneyland. That was a gift to me, and I am so thankful to them. That was just such a blessing to be a part of. It was so good. My dad flew me out to Seattle. That was really like just nice to get to do. Like I got to see his home. I got to see what's going on in his life as his world's whole changing after like 20 years of raising me in Madison. I got to go to Canada. That was like the most random thing. My friend, like her person that she was going to be traveling with last minute bailed, and so suddenly she had a free spot, and she's like, it's cheaper for me to fly you out than to cancel all these things, so do you want to come? And I was like, no, go like ask someone else first who can like pay for it, because I definitely can't. And it just worked out that I got to go. It was really cool. Yeah, so I just hope that is like more clear, because yeah, I just don't want you guys to think that at any point that this is vacation to me, because it's awesome that God's letting me do it, but there's like a lot of hard days in it, because I don't really feel like it's necessary to list them all out, because I'm sure it becomes evident at some point. But like being a foreigner, being a missionary is like, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it, and yeah, it's not necessary to list it all out, but it is like there's a lot of hard days, and yeah, a lot of heartstrings tugged on a daily basis. So a lot of uncomfortability. So yeah, okay, so those are like my main things, and I just wanted to say thank you, and I really hope that that this is helpful, that it's interesting, that you feel like you're more included.